This is the first time I've seen this book that I wrote. It's no longer called A Presidential Energy Policy. It's called Confronting Collapse, published by Chelsea Green in Vermont, the largest and longest publisher of books on sustainability and peak oil in the country. We had a whole separate set of struggles to bring this book to life, but most of the questions you will have about what do we do are now answered in this very short book. And it's not complicated. It's a very easy read. There's 25 points. Some are governmental points. Some are points that you can start acting on tomorrow locally or where you live or by yourself. So this is the companion book for the movie, which really is the best that I'm ever going to be able to offer, especially given the urgency of the collapse and the pace with which it is occurring. And we have copies outside. So I'm going to what I'm going to do is this next show starts at 9, so I'm going to answer questions for about 20 minutes because the next audience needs to come in. But I'll go outside. If you want to buy the books, I'll be out there, answer your questions, and I'll autograph them outside for you. Be happy to. Just so you know, my rent's paid. I got an advance for the book, and a few other things are opening up real quickly. I am now a very happy singer-songwriter in a very great band called New White Trash. It has nothing to do with old white trash. If you lost your 401k, you're new white trash. If you had your house foreclosed, you're new white trash. I don't care what color you are. New white trash is people who are getting thrown out as the collapse occurs. We have a website, newwhitetrash.com. I'm proud to be in the band with Andy Kravitz, a multiple Grammy winner, legend in the music industry, veteran songwriter and producer Doug Lewis. And we're just finishing a CD. We've got 25 original songs. I joined the band in June. I've co-written about 12, and I sing on a bunch, and man, I'm happy. That'll do it. One other question that I get asked everywhere, how many cigarettes do I smoke? I smoke as many as I want to, but far fewer than the movie would lead you to believe. So I'm a happy guy. Just got in here from Portland. We did a couple openings in Portland. I'll be leaving here. I'm doing tonight, then tomorrow I go to Berkeley for 2 days. And a week from tonight we open in Washington, D.C., and I'm going there for that one. That's going to be fun. So, but I'm real glad to be in San Francisco. I've met some great people here tonight, but as you know, San Francisco is not the slowest camper when it comes to this issue. And San Francisco, support this city's initiative for anything it does on energy conservation, recycling, anything it does to promote sustainability. You support this city wholeheartedly because you're going to do nothing but benefit from it. And San Francisco rocks. I'm sorry, it does. So with all that said, man, stick your hands up. I'll start answering the questions. There's one right there.
It depends what the, what was it that Clinton said, what the definition of is. We've been set up with this paradigm that oil is energy. The sun is energy. We've been conditioned, problem, reaction, solution. We've been set up with this. We can make the transition, which you talked about, which needs to happen. I personally believe that it's all about concentrating power versus ruling lead. And syntropy and synergy is in opposition to energy and entropy. The thing is that solar energy can be concentrated and melt salt, store the energy, drive it like a nuclear power plant in the desert. There's algae produces oil. You don't need fossilized oil.
You have a question though.
But the thing is that it can be transitioned.
Let me just stop you right there. You need to get the book until you change the infrastructure. Robert Hirsch of SAIC, Strategic, Scientific Applied something, it's a spook think tank, was commissioned by the government in 2005 to do a study on the transition. He said, we could have kept everything running perhaps if we had started making the transition 30 years ago. And the matrix prepared for the United States government basically said that if you wait until peak oil hits before you start to transition, you're never going to save everybody's life. So get it in your head, and I'm not pointing this at you, everybody needs to get this. There is no ferry that's going to come and save lots of people from dying. It's happening already. You cannot prevent the collapse, and you cannot soften it much until you change the way money works. Theories are fine on paper, but the infrastructure to implement those theories takes money to implement, and the economic crash will prevent the building of any infrastructure on the assumption that anybody had agreed on what infrastructure to replace the old one with. So, you know, we are past, we have to stop pretending. There is no magic bullet that's going to allow us to keep consuming. When I was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and this scares the shit out of me, that the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Variety, USA Today, and today Roger Ebert, you know who that guy is? Yeah. He said his Twitter message today was, if you do nothing else, see this movie this year. I mean, the reviews are amazing. But when I was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, they said, what's the point of your movie? I said, it is not possible to continue infinite resource consumption and infinite population growth on a finite planet. And any alternative energy situation right now that anybody proposes without changing the monetary infinite growth paradigm still collides us with the fact that there's only so much water, there's only so much oil, there's only so much copper, there's only so much wood, there's only so much coal on this planet, and that cannot be replaced. We cannot support 7 billion people on this planet, and the planet, I'm sorry, is clearly telling us that right now. Anybody else?
But it's about,
I'm not going to debate you. I'm
it's
sorry.
the paradigm shift that you talk about.
We have to have the paradigm shift, but you got to be prepared that there's no magic bullet.
The magic bullet is change, okay?
The magic bullet is change, but you got to understand, what I heard you saying was there's some hypothetical, theoretical energy that we can plug into these cars that are running on this street right now today. It's not going to happen.
I never said that.
I apologize. I apologize. Yes, back here. Okay, you and then the gentleman in the gray behind you. Go ahead.
Michael, thanks for making the movie. And if the reserves have peaked out and the global elite are trying to find something to do, are they trying to cull the population through the global campaign of chemtrailing and the global campaign of vaccinations? And the second part of that question is, how is it dangerous for somebody like me to conspiracy theorize amongst my peers through phone calling or emailing?
Straight up. No. No. Let me simplify your life for you a whole lot. Really, and I'm serious. And I know this because I've been there. You understand what I'm saying? I've taken everything the government could fucking throw at me, pardon my French, for a long time. And Bush Cheney threw the kitchen sink at me and then some. You're not important enough for them to wiretap. Okay? So relax. You can talk, because people are talking about this stuff all over the world, okay? People get it all over the world. You're no threat to anybody, and they don't have the money or the manpower to wiretap or listen to 200 million Americans, okay? So, don't worry about chemtrails. The reason why I say is, first of all, I've seen some stuff on chemtrails, but if you're worried about chemtrails, you're chasing the red herring that they want you to chase. You've got to worry about staying alive. The issue is food production and local food production. It's relocalization. You spend your time reading and arguing and protesting about chemtrails, you're going to be one of the slower campers when the bear comes. I'm sorry. And so I'm really trying to help you because I understand. I've gone through all of these processes myself over the course of the last 30 years. I'm not picking on you. Yeah. Okay? So, man, we're all a bunch of conspiracy theorists in this room, right? The FBI ain't here, okay? And I have to tell you that there's a lot of people in law enforcement and government that are waking up. The only reason the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and all these major publications have come out to support this movie is because they can't hide the collapse anymore. So talk about it all you want to. Talk about it anywhere you possibly can. My other piece of advice on that, though, is don't waste your time talking to people who don't want to hear. You need to go to a meeting of Codependents Anonymous if you do that. No offense. I'm not. There's a lot of hands, so let me get some other people here. There was a gentleman in the gray hair, right here against the wall. No? Yeah, you.
I've been thinking about this for a long time.